Hello, everybody. I apologize for the technical difficulties. Hopefully you were able to hang on there with me as we get started. So let's get rolling. Hey, so let me ask you a question. Do you host golf outings, or would you like to host more? Or maybe you just sell to these golf outings. Is there a possibility that your revenue is not where it needs to be? Your sales are down. Would you like to increase revenue through tournaments and outings? Well, you've come to the right place. Hello, everyone. My name is Phil Immordino, and this is another GTAA free webinar. And we're excited that you could join us today. For over 30 years, we've had the opportunity to work with over 200,000 tournament planners around the world. And we have one simple mission, and that is to help them produce a better golf tournament. But through this process, we're able to hear what their needs are, their wants, their questions, the things that they require to put on a golf tournament. So our job today is to bring that information to you. So this webinar is not for tournament planners. This webinar today is for those of you who sell to tournament planners. So you might be a golf course who needs more outings. You might be a supplier who sells to golf outings, and you might be a tournament consultant who wants to help more tournament planners. So if you're on this call today, we appreciate that. Hopefully you haven't left us. This call will be recorded, so we will send that link out to you today. So thanks again for joining us. So today's phone call, we're going to talk about several things and take lots of notes, although I will be sending you the PowerPoint and all the notes after this webinar. So we're going to talk a little bit about the golf tournament industry. What does that look like? How many tournaments are out there? How many players? We're going to talk about some of the myths and misconceptions of people who sell to tournaments. We're going to clear those up for you today. We're also going to teach you how to find more customers, whether they're current customers and you want to build or past customers. We're going to delve into that. We're going to talk about how to promote you, your facility, your products, your services. We're going to discuss a little bit, how do you make a presentation? How do you exactly talk to your clients or your potential clients? We're going to talk about additional revenue. How do you add revenue to what you're trying to do? And then how do we keep those customers back? You know, it's a lot harder to get new customers than it is to keep them coming back. So let's get into it. This is what we're going to cover today. So just remember, this call will be recorded, and we'll send out the notes to you and the recording if you have to leave early. So first of all, let's talk about the industry. What does the industry look like? Well, there's over 500,000 golf outings throughout the United States. And I know that's a big number, but there's a ton of them. 90% of those are going to be charity events and fundraising events. There's a lot of corporate outings out there, and there's leagues, there's men's groups, there's women group, but there's all types of outings, and we project about over 500,000 annually. The average tournament that we see, and we've done tons of surveys, has about 72 players, which, as we all know, is only about halfway sold out. The average entry fee to a tournament is about $125. Now, obviously, there's a lot higher ones and there's a lot lower ones, but the average overall is $125 per outing. The average net money raised per tournament is $5,000. That's the average. Now, there's some tournaments that are making 50, 100, $1 million, but the average is about 5,000. The average entry or green fees that a tournament will pay the golf course is $55. The average amount of money spent per golfer on merchandise, gifts and prizes is about $25 per player. The average amount of services, that's the intangibles, the hole-in-one, the signage, photography, that's about $15 per player. And again, there's all types of events. And so you need to be thinking about, what type of market are you going after? Are you going to go after the charity events? Are you going to go after the corporate outings, maybe the competitions? But there's a big group to go after. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about misconceptions, some of the myths. I hear this all the time, and I want to clear some of these up just so you know in your mind how to approach some of these folks. First of all, many of us think that these tournament planners know what they're doing. And to be honest with you, most of them do not. They're a group of volunteers. They're the assistant to the vice president. They're someone who's kind of was thrown in their lap how to coordinate a tournament. So they do not, for the most part, know what they're doing. Now, there's a few that have been doing it for years and they have a grasp on it, but they could always do better. So don't think that when that you're talking to a customer, they already know what they're doing. And this gives you the upper hand because it allows you to say, let us help you. They will come to you. You know, it's amazing that we think that tournaments will just knock down our door, that will just find us and they'll call us and they'll buy from us. And that's not happening. So they're not coming to you. We have to go out and get them. Another misconception is they don't need to be sold. And this is a prime example of what happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I called about 10 different golf courses and was needing a date and a price. And I got quotes from a few of them, but no one called me back. No one tried to sell me. No one followed up and said, hey, what are you thinking? So they need to be sold. They're just not going to come just because you give them a date and a price. They don't buy much. And this is another misconception. Although charities are cheap and nonprofits do not like to spend a lot of money, they're still going to spend on the average $25 per player in merchandise and $15 per player in services. The big question is, who's going to get that money? Is it you or is it somebody else? Another misconception is that they cannot be sold anything extra. They've got their green fees, they've got their lunch, and that's it. Rarely do I ever get asked, do I need additional items, whether it's services or gifts and prizes? I rarely get that question, and there's a lot of money to be made per player. You may be thinking that your prices are pretty good, whether it's on your green fees or whether it's on your packages or whether it's even on your merchandise that you sell. You may think that you've got good prices, but until you know the competition, there's probably someone out there selling it a little bit cheaper. So keep that in mind. And then you may think that you offer everything. I always hear the term, the one-stop shop. Well, in reality, most facilities, most consultants are not a one-stop shop. They're a one-trick pony. They sell green fees and food. They sell maybe hole-in-one insurance and signage, and that's it. But no one, rarely do I find, is a one-stop shop. So don't think that you're selling all the services that they need because there's a lot of them out there. So those are some of the myths and misconceptions. And so you need to know that going in as you're talking to your customers. So then the next big question is, where do we find customers? A lot of us, again, think that they're just going to come find us and they're going to knock on our door. But there's a lot of great places that you can find new customers. But let me make it really clear as we get into the meat of this, and that is, you have to have a plan. You cannot just hope and pray that business is going to come. You've got to have an official business plan that's going to really identify you as a tournament facility or tournament host or tournament supplier, and how to go after that. So you need a complete business plan, and you need one person that oversees that process. So many times it's no one's responsibility, and customers slip through the cracks. So it's very important that you think about a business plan and someone to oversee this whole process. So how do we find new customers? Well, a gold mine of customers is in your old databases, in your old information. Keep in mind that there's probably been some changes either at your company or at your facility, and there's years and years of documentation of people that have been with you, hosted tournaments with you, that again have slipped through the cracks because no one followed up with them, no one stayed in touch. I ask golf courses all the time, I say, do you have a database of tournament planners? And rarely do they say yes. They say we have a dedicated database of everybody. It's 10,000 people, but it's not broken down into tournaments. So one of the first steps is build a database just with tournament planners and make sure that that's fine-tuned and cleaned up. But search out your old databases, search out your old emails, search out your old invoices. Ask some of the people, didn't we used to host this event? So dig through your past records, and there's a gold mine of potential customers right there just with your past customers. Take a look at your current customers. Again, maybe someone had called you and asked you for a price that no one followed up with. Maybe there's an email that they were asking for an available date. But go through and look through current potential customers, maybe the ones you have last year that haven't rebooked yet. Obviously, there's a ton there. And the question is, are you following up with them? Again, rarely do I get a follow-up phone call from a golf course who I hosted an event last year and they're wondering if I'm going to do it again next year. Rarely do I get these calls. So your current customers is a huge database of potential customers. And keep in mind, they do other events. So not only do they do other events, but we're going to talk about multi-year agreements. They also have references. People know people. Your current customers know people. If they're happy with you, then they're more than happy to refer you to somebody else. So keep that in mind. Your current customers lead you to other customers. And then future customers. Where do we find these future customers? Well, there's a whole lot of ways to do that. We got a manual that gives you over 25 ways to find tournaments, but I'm going to just give you a few today. First of all, a simple internet search. Get on Google, get on any browser and just type in local golf tournaments, charity golf tournaments, corporate outings. You're going to find a whole bunch right there in your local area. So an internet search. There's a lot of companies out there, for example, one called Scramble Hunter that lists tournaments in your area. Check them out. There is obviously some typical websites like Charity Navigator and ASAE, which is listing associations, and there's MPI listing meeting planners. So these are local associations that list their members, and most likely 60% of them put on a golf tournament. So obviously internet search is a great way to look for potential customers. Look at your local competitors. You've got golf courses in your area. They're hosting tournaments all the time. Pop in once in a while. Look at their billboard. They may have in their locker room some posters put up. They may have flyers at the counter. These are all potential customers for you. Maybe not this year, but next year. So look at your competitors. Look at the events that they're doing. They're not going to share with you who those people are, but with a little digging, you can find out who your competitors are working with. And there's different groups. I mentioned different groups. You should really think about joining or be a part of groups like AFP, American Fundraising Professionals. They have all the major charities in your area. They have a local chapter in your area. ASAE, American Society of Association Executives. They're the associations in your area. And then MPI, Meeting Planners International. They have all the meeting planners in your area. So I encourage you to look at those groups, maybe consider joining, getting involved, getting to know people. But most of those folks in those groups host golf outings, and they're a large group of potential customers for you. As we mentioned, referrals, everybody can be referring, but you need a referral program. You need someone who says, hey, I'll bring you a tournament, but what do I get out of it? Maybe it's a gift certificate, maybe it's a dinner for two, but have a referral program. So not only your current customers or past customers can refer others and get something out of it, but your employees, people that you come across, have a little business card that says refer a tournament to us and you get $25, whatever the case may be. Have a referral program and you'll have more than you can imagine. And then partnerships. I encourage you to get into partnerships with different groups. Maybe it's your local chamber of commerce. Maybe it's a supplier. Maybe there's a sign company or a photography company locally. They're working on tournaments all the time, but if you have a partnership with them, then you can share different leads in your areas. So be looking at building those partnerships to help you build the customers. But there's a lot of ways to find new customers. This is just a few, and I encourage you to really focus on building your database of past, current, and potential future customers, and then communicate with them, which is the next big question. How do you promote your product? How do you promote your facility? How do you promote your services? There's several ways. We're going to touch on a few today. Number one, it's your image. Do you have the image of someone who works with tournaments? I know that sounds crazy, but you have to create that image. You just can't assume that people think you do tournaments. Just because you're a golf course doesn't mean you're great at doing tournaments. I know here in my area, Phoenix, Arizona, we have over 300 golf courses. Some are known as the tournament headquarters that host a lot of tournaments, and they're really good at it. Some you wouldn't even want to get close to because their image is not good for hosting tournaments. Maybe it's a city course or a county course, a government-owned course, are not known for doing tournaments very well, but the privately and corporately owned golf courses, some of them have a good reputation. So it's your image that you have to create to say in the community that you are good at hosting golf tournaments. Your website is another thing. I see tabs on different golf course websites that say tournaments or events, but it really doesn't say in depth what you do. It doesn't talk about who you've helped. It doesn't talk about, some of the, success stories, maybe some of the referrals. So really have to build up that website and show them what you offer them, show them the tools. Don't just say you do events and any inquiry, fill in the blank. You show them, tell them what you do and why you do it good. Maybe a video of some success stories on your website will help you get that image, because everyone's going to go to your website and they're going to look at your tournament and event page. And if all you're saying, we do tournaments, click here, they're not going to get excited. If you don't already, social media is huge. I do not see a lot of golf courses marketing themselves through social media in regards to tournaments. Oh, they may talk about individual play or a special lunch or Sunday brunch, but I rarely see them with a social media campaign on tournaments. Again, talking about success stories and referrals and all the things that you do. Videos are great. Work and have a complete social media campaign that's going to be able to take advantage of that free media out there to talk about and build your image for your event. Emails are a powerful tool. I know we all get a million of them a day, but they are a powerful tool and they work. Yes, you need to start with a database. We talked earlier, you need to build a database, but I would really encourage you to think about being in contact with your database on a monthly basis. I get 50 emails a day from golf courses, and rarely, if ever, have I seen one that talks about tournaments. They talk about their weekend special, their prices coming up, their food, their parties, but they never talk about tournaments. I'm going to encourage you to think about creating a tournament email that goes out once a month to your database of tournaments and give them tournament ideas. Maybe it's called tournament tips. Maybe it's called ideas for your next tournament, but something that communicates, not just sells. Don't just send out an email every month that says, hey, buy me, buy me. People are sick of those. We get them all day long. Give us information that's helpful. Give us information that we need to improve our golf tournament. If you do that, you're definitely going to get their attention versus trying to sell them one more thing. Another way to promote your facility and your product or service, and I encourage every company, every golf course in the country to do this once a year, and that is a VIP day. A VIP day is powerful. It's simply one day that you commit and dedicate to your past customers, your current customers, and hopefully your future customers. It's a free round of golf, it's free lunch, but more importantly, it's showing them and giving them tools and new ideas on how they can do their next golf tournament. I like to see maybe a 2-3 hour seminar with those VIP days that talks about how do you produce a golf tournament? What are the tricks? What are the tools? What do you need? Very, very important. If you host a VIP day, say thank you to your current customers and teach potential new customers what to do in the future. Seminars, we talked about that. You could have a seminar standalone. Maybe it's an hour or two seminar once a month or once every quarter that invites new people to come listen on how to put on a golf tournament. Powerful tool. Why? Because they come to get to meet you. They get to come see your facility. You get to talk to them about what they're doing, their event, and it's very powerful. Guaranteed business. If you do a seminar, I guarantee it will produce new business for you. Mixers, we've all been to a chamber of commerce mixer where you go and you have cocktails and hors d'oeuvres and you meet other people. I encourage your facility or your company to have a mixer. Maybe it's once a quarter, and you just invite people in the industry to come hang out. It helps your image. It makes you look like the go-to company, the go-to facility that's going to be able to host their next event, and it brings the industry together. Phone calls. There is nothing more powerful than a phone call. We're so spoiled and so used to just doing emails these days, and all we want to do is send out an email. We're busy, we're lazy, whatever it takes. We don't like to get on the phone, but there's nothing more powerful than a personal phone call that says, hey, we miss you, we want you, we need your business, we want your business, and we want to help you be successful. Nothing more powerful than a phone call. You cannot live on emails alone. So phone calls are powerful. And then promotions. I would come up with a monthly promotion. Doesn't matter what it is, just something different. Maybe it's a 2-for-1 sale. Maybe it's a 50% off sale. Maybe it's, book this month and you get the free lunch, whatever the case may be, but come up with a series of monthly promotions that you can send out through that blast email when you're communicating with those tournament planners. So those are just a few of the ideas on how you can promote and market your facility and your company. Now, once you get to them, once you're in front of them, either on the phone or a Zoom call or face-to-face, there's several things you need to keep in mind to make a powerful presentation. Don't just assume they know who you are, they know what you do, and that you're good at it. Don't assume anything. You've got to make a presentation that's powerful. You've got to sell them. They've got to be sold. So do not leave this part of the process short. First step is to be prepared. Do your homework. Research not only your community, other golf courses, other facilities, what's happening in your industry, what's happening in your community, but research the customer. Are they fundraising? Are they a corporate outing? Are they a competition? But do your homework, be prepared. Don't just grab the phone and try to sell somebody. You're going to fail. So do your homework, be prepared, and know the competition, know the market, and know your customer. Second thing that I encourage you to do is create packages. Don't just have a green fee and a lunch or a one, product or a one service. Create packages. Maybe you want to partner up with some companies and offer green fees, food, hole-in-one insurance, signage, photography, whatever the case may be, but offer packages, maybe a low priced package, a medium priced package, and then a higher end package. I think we all like options. And if we want the higher end package, we're going to get it. So create packages that really push some buttons and get people excited. And then the presentation. What does the presentation look like? You've got to take that part serious, because your job is to create value. Your job is to sell them and to show them why they want to invest with you. So you've got to create that value, and do that. You've got to show them, your history. You've got to show them your success. You've got to talk about the benefits, your architect of the golf course or the creator of your product. You've got to show them why you are quality, why your facility is quality and first class. You got to talk about your customer service. You want to bring up referrals. You want to bring up people that they may know, that they can identify with, to realize that you are successful, you are good at what you do. But don't take that part for granted. Sell them, get them excited. Selling is not being pushy. Selling is not, selling them, giving them something they don't want. Selling is something, just getting people excited about what you're excited about. So you can sell more if you get other people excited. The other thing that you need to be aware of is objections. Okay, there's a lot of objections, and objections aren't necessarily bad. We think of, oh, they don't like us. We hate losing a friend when they object. But no, objections simply mean they need more information. An objection might mean, well, we got to think about it. Or objection, well, it's awful expensive, we got to get back with our committee. Or an objection might mean, well, I've got to, talk to the other people first. Okay, so that just simply means they need more information. So don't be afraid to overcome objections, which simply means I'm going to help you with your decision. I'm going to give you all the information you need to make a qualified decision. So make sure that you have the answers to their objections in advance. For example, they say you're too expensive. Well, understand why they think you're too expensive and compared to what. Because when you have the facts, you can overcome that better. For example, they say, you're too expensive compared to the golf course down the street. Well, if you've done your homework, you know that the golf course down the street is a city municipal course, and they're cheap and they're not ever in good condition, and they don't have a good banquet facility. So yeah, you're going to be a little bit more expensive, but the investment is worth it because you've got a better banquet facility, you've got a better chef, your course is always in great shape. So know that, that yes, you are a little more expensive, but this is the reason why. So be prepared for these objections, and there's a whole list of them, which I can share with you if you'd ever want to see them. But there's a whole list of reasons people don't want to make a decision right now. So learn how to overcome those objections. And then next, you have to ask for the order. I mentioned earlier that I'd reached out to 10 different golf courses and asked them for a date and a price. No one followed up. One person follows up. So you have to follow up. You have to ask for the order. You have to simply say, are we the place for you? What can we do to get your business? What's it going to take? Can we get a deposit? Can we get your signature? Can I send you out an agreement? Ask for the order. If you don't ask, you're not going to get the business. It's that simple. So don't be afraid to ask for the order, which means follow up. You must follow up on a regular basis, not to a point of being pushy, but a phone call follow-up, an email follow-up. But tell them you're serious about getting their business, whatever it takes. You want to help them get that business, but not just follow up to get the sale, but follow up through the process. They want to know that you actually care. And most golf courses, don't take this personal, don't care. They don't care about the process. They don't care if you're successful. If you want to be successful, you've got to ensure that your customer is successful. And so you want to help them through the process, which is, giving them planning tools and follow up and ask how they're coming along, help them with their promotion. We have a whole seminar on just how do you help your customers. And then finally, add-on selling. This is the big, huge difference. This is where you take your company to a whole new level. And that's additional revenue, add-on selling. You can't just be satisfied with the one item or a green fee or a lunch. There's so many other things that we as tournament planners need that you should be aware of. And so be prepared to sell additional items, whether that's an additional meal, whether that's additional merchandise for their gifts and pride in their goodie bag, maybe it's additional services. So add-on selling is where your big money is going to come. And I'm going to give you an example of that really quick. I'm going to show you right now how to quadruple your business with even your current business right now. I'm going to show you how to quadruple it right now. And we call it the formula for success. So the formula for success can quadruple your business. But just real quick, how do you add additional income before we get to that formula? And that's simply this: more golfers. As I mentioned earlier, the average tournament only has 72 golfers. We help them get golfers. More food. May be getting their food somewhere else, or ordering only one meal. Another meal doubles your revenue. Merchandise. We're going to talk about how do you add on merchandise. Pricing is key. If your prices are too high, then we're going to go somewhere else. Services. We all need services. I don't see any golf courses offering services, the intangibles, the hole-in-one, the signage, the award ceremony. Everyone does an award ceremony, but they don't make it a party. If you turn those award ceremonies into parties and invite additional people in their group, you'll have more people there for food and raffles and auctions. They win and you win. And then multi-year agreements. Add-on selling is not just 1-year agreement, but multi-year agreements. And then other events. Every organization does other events, whether that's a meeting, whether that's a luncheon, whether that's a wedding. We even ask about other events. I'm going to show you right now the formula for success. This will show you how you can quadruple your business overnight. And it's very simple. So if we take the typical golf tournament, and they have 72 players, and let's just say the green fee's $50, you're going to make a sale of $3,600. That's the typical golf tournament sale to a golf course, is $3,600. But now think about this. If you help them get golfers, you help them double their field, you just doubled your revenue from $3,600 to $7,200 just with helping them get golfers. Now, possibly offer them merchandise for their goodie bag. Again, this sounds like common sense, but I rarely get asked this question. We offer some items for their goodie bag. If you sold an average of $25 per player in merchandise, you just added another $3,600. Then think about food and beverage. If you can increase that, maybe they bought the breakfast but didn't buy lunch, or bought lunch and didn't buy dinner. Add another meal, some cocktails, and increase that another $25 per player. Services, another $15, whether that's signage, whether that's hole-in-one insurance, whether that's photography, add another $15. You just took that $3,600 sale to $16,000 simply by, 1, helping them get golfers, and 2, offering them additional items. So think about that. $3,600 into $16,000. But this is what blows my mind, and people don't realize this. If you turn that 1-year agreement into a 3-year agreement, you have just now made a $50,000 sale. We look at it as a $3,600 sale, no big deal. That's why I think that golf courses do not take golf tournaments serious, because they look at it as a $3,600 sale. But if you add additional items, you help them get golfers, you've just turned $3,600 into almost $50,000 in sales. It's that simple. This is the formula for success. Whether you're a golf course or your product or service, add on selling, help your customers, and you will quadruple your sales. All right. Now, how do you get them coming back? So we talked about 3-year agreements, but how do you get them excited to come back? And here's just a couple of very simple steps to get your customers coming back. 1, help them be successful. You know, I've booked a lot of tournaments in my life, and I get 2 phone calls. One from the golf course. One phone call says, hey, where's your deposit in your contract? And the other phone call is a week before the event. How many players do you have? And what do you want for food? That's the 2 phone calls. This is not helping me at all. So I really encourage you to think about helping your customers through the process. Help them be successful. Give them planning tools. Give them seminars. Give them newsletters. Meet with them. Conference calls. Help them be successful, and you will be successful. Give them a first-class experience from start to finish. Show them, work with them, hold their hand, but make sure it's first-class quality. Everything is done. Nothing slips through the cracks, and you're helping them, again, be successful with a first-class quality event. Give them new ideas. Rarely do I hear any new ideas. People aren't offering new ideas, but we just assume they're going to come in with a shotgun scramble. They don't even aware of what a celebrity am or a pro-am or night golf or a golf-a-thon. Give them ideas and they'll be successful. You are the expert. You know these ideas. You just sometimes forget to ask. Ask them and you will be successful. Keep them coming back by not signing a 1-year agreement. Give them an offer they can't refuse. Offer a 3-year agreement. And then, as we talked about earlier, follow up. Follow up with phone calls, follow up with emails, follow up with parties, follow up with free gifts. Give them a reason not to forget who you are. There's an old saying, out of sight, out of mind. So if you stay in touch, you follow up, they're going to be with you year after year. And you turn that $3,000 sale into a $50,000 sale. So a lot of information. I'm going to just real quick before I close, before I conclude, tell you a little bit about the GTA if you're not aware. Number one, we've been around for 30 years. We've been helping tournaments all over the world and helping golf courses. We get a chance to speak at the PGA show. We speak at the National Golf Course Owners Association show. And so we are here to help you, whatever your needs are. We have a certification program. Whether you're a golf course and you want that credibility, you can become a tournament certified golf course. We can help you with seminars and VIP days. We've got a manual that teaches you exactly how to do it. We can even come out and help you with it, and we can even make the presentation with you. We also have books and manuals. We have How to Produce a Successful Golf Tournament, which has sold over 250,000 copies. We've got a new book out called All the Games and Contests and Formats, 400 of them, which really helps your customers and you. We have tournament leads in your area. If you're looking for tournaments, we have a database of over 100,000 tournaments throughout the country. We can offer you and help you with leads in your area. We can train your staff. If you don't have the time or the ability, we can help train your staff to be better salespeople. And then we also have a secret shopper program. If you need some secret shoppers, someone to come in and evaluate how you're doing, what you're doing, how you can improve and give you those ideas, we can definitely help you with that. So let us know. You've all got my email. You've all got our website, my phone number. If you need anything, whether it's just a question or additional service to increase your business, we can help you with that. So let me wrap up by saying this. First of all, you can be successful. You can quadruple your business literally this year. Seriously, if you simply do a few things. One, build your database specifically of tournament planners. Build that, clean that database up. Create an image that says you are the tournament experts. Gain credibility in your marketplace. Get certified. Show them that you are the go-to place for tournaments. Offer better packages that show value in those packages that reach all their price points, low, high, and end, but create some great packages that work. Help your customers. Teach your customers how to be successful, and you will be successful. The more successful they are, the more they're going to buy from you. Offer new ideas. And stay in touch with them, work with them, stay in touch with them, and they will definitely be with you for a long time. So there's many, many ways that you can help your customer. I encourage you to continue to tune in. We've got webinars coming up every week. And if you have any questions, please let us know. But you can quadruple your business by just helping your customers be successful. So I appreciate you, appreciate what you're doing. Thanks for being on this call today. Sorry for the technical difficulty in the beginning, but we'll be sending you the recorded message and the notes. So good luck this season. Stay in touch.